Hi, I'm AJ Funches, the Assistant Director for Marketing and Communications for the Detroit Public Library. The library values the health and well being of our staff, and as co chair of our Health and Wellness Committee, our goals are to provide information, tips, and fun ideas for developing and maintaining a healthy lifestyle, which is why we are so excited to host a presentation from Florine Mark, who prior to selling was the largest franchise owner of Weight Watchers with locations in 13 states, Canada, and Mexico. She loves the library, and growing up in Detroit, the Detroit Public Libraries were a haven for Florine, who to this day still treasures her library card and the feel of a book in her hand. In this presentation, Florine discusses the importance of a healthy lifestyle to feel good about yourself, gain self respect, and enjoy your life.
Hi, I'm Florine Mark. I've lost 50 pounds and kept it off now for 40 years. That's quite a feat. I want to tell you what happened to me in my life. I was born in Detroit and grew up on Elmhurst and Linwood, and Detroit has always been someplace that I just absolutely love. We were very, very poor. So I came to live with my mother, my father, my six aunts and uncles, my grandmother, my grandfather, and a disabled uncle. So there was 13 of us that lived in this house. But there was so much love around. But we were all fat because my grandmother did all the cooking and she loved sugar and she loved chicken fat and she loved butter and everything. If we didn't have a lot of food, but if you put enough sugar and butter on it, it always tastes really good. So when I was about 12, I went to school. When I went to school, the kids would call me FF, Fat Flo. I guess that was bullying. They didn't say bullying in those days. And I hated it. And I used to come home and say to my mother, my God, Mom, the kids, they're making fun of me. They're calling me Fat Flo. And my mother said, come on, honey, sit down, have a piece of cake, you'll feel better. So that's the way I grew up. Having a piece of cake or a piece of something always seemed to want to make me feel better. But 10 minutes later, I hated myself. Why did I eat all that sugar stuff? Why did I eat all that stuff? So my mother, when I was about 12, finally sent me to diet doctors. And I went to diet doctors on and off and lost 50 pounds 9 times before I found Weight Watchers. I'd go and I'd take these terrible pills, and they still have pills today, but those were the amphetamines and the tranquilizers and the thyroid medication. They were called the rainbow pills. And then I would like starve and eat maybe a grapefruit and a piece of steak and starve. And finally, I'd lose the weight. And then I'd say, see, I know how to do this. And then I'd get right back on and eat all the things that I shouldn't be eating and gain all the weight back. And one day I got married, I had 5 children, and each time I had a child, I gained a little more weight and going back to diet doctors. And one day I overdosed on one diet pill given to me by a diet doctor. It was an amphetamine. I guess, they call those speed today on the street. And my diet ended up in the hospital, heart beating fast, terrible things. I felt like I was going to die. And my family doctor said, if you ever take one more diet pill, I'm not going to be responsible for your life. What do I do? I couldn't do it on my own. I never thought that I could do it myself. Anyways, I went to the drugstore. I saw a magazine. It said Weight Watchers. I bought it. It said you can lose weight without diet pills and without exercise, without anything, just by good eating. I called the lady up in New York. Her name was Jean Knightis. She said, I can't send you a diet. You have to come to New York. I didn't know what to do. I didn't have a lot of money. My mother and dad came and sat with and stayed with my children. I had 5 children at that time. And I went to New York and I went to Weight Watchers there and I went back 4 times. They let me do this. I went every month, and every month I lost 10 pounds and I lost 40 pounds. And the owner up there, whose name was Jean Knightish, the founder, said, why don't you take this back to Detroit? I said, great, I have this fat little family and we'll all lose weight together. But by that time, you see, it wasn't just losing the weight, it was gaining self-respect. When you do something that you can't do and you think you can't do, and you do it, and you really do it and you feel good about it, you feel good about yourself, which is so very important. And I had all this self-respect. And I was going out, I wanted to be a movie star, I wanted to be on television, I wanted to be on radio, I wanted to write, I'm a writer. And I thought, I'm going to do that, but I'm going to have one class. Jean said, take Weight Watchers back to Detroit. I figured I'm going to have one class and I'm going to have all my family and my friends. And then I'm going out and I'm going to apply at the television stations and the radio stations and the newspapers. And so that's what I did. I had this one class. And when I got up there, they didn't give me anything, nothing about Weight Watchers from the company to help me. They just gave me the right to use the name and the diet, which was a terrible diet. And by the way, I lost 40 pounds in 4 months, but it took me 1 year to lose the last 10, but I did it. So it's not important how long it takes you. It's important that you finally do it. And those that stop trying will always fail. I learned that lesson. Try and learn self-respect. But after that very first class, I saw people coming back the second time, and they were all so happy and they were feeling good. Oh, Florine, look, no pills. I'm feeling good. Look at all the weight I'm losing weight and all the rest. And I thought to myself, I don't want to be a movie star. I don't want to be on television. I know what I want to do. I want to help people feel better about themselves, like I got help feeling better. And I want to tell you that very first class that I had, very first, I didn't know what to say. And I got anxious and I had a panic attack. And I said to the class, there was 30 people, whether it was my aunts, my uncles, my grandfather, my grandmother, and a few odd people. And I went downstairs into the ladies' room because my mother said, if you feel you're going to faint, put your head between your knees, take a deep breath, and then you're going to feel better. And I did that. And when I stood up, there was a big mirror in front of me. And I looked in that mirror and I looked in my eyes. And I said to myself, to me, I didn't look at my hair or my pimples or whatever else, my bad hair or whatever. I looked in my eyes and I said, Florine Mark, you go out there and you can do this. And I did. And I want to tell you, from that moment on, I have been talking to the mirror. In fact, I wrote a book called Talk to the Mirror. You can buy it on Amazon. It's not a diet book. It's a book talking about learning self-respect. Every morning I get up and I look in the mirror and out loud I say, good morning, Florine. Today's going to be a good one. And you can do anything you want if you want to do it bad enough. But I never ask myself to do things that I know I'm going to fail at. I've always wanted to be 5'7". I'm 5'5.5", but there's no Grow Watchers, so I can't be 5'7". So I can't ask myself to do that. But I ask myself to do things that I know I'm going to be successful at. I want to tell you, one of the things that were so important in my life was the Detroit Public Libraries. They were like a haven for me. My father took me, when I was old enough to get a library card, took me to the libraries and I got a card. I treasured to that day and every day since my library cards. I still have a library card. I still go to the library. Oh yes, I do have a Kindle and occasionally I'll read on the Kindle, but I like to touch the books. I like to feel them. I like to smell them. I like to turn the pages. And I like the librarians. I've never met such wonderful people. In fact, all my life, I said, if I ever changed professions, I'd want to be a librarian. And I love the clerks and I loved everybody at the library. It's the most wonderful place to work and to be. And I want to tell you, all of you wonderful people that have made my life so better by doing what you do at the libraries. I love you so much. Just be happy for what you do, whether you're the clerk or the librarian or whatever else you do in the library, you are making people feel better. That's so very, very important. And whatever you do in life, always remember that always do something to make somebody feel good. My sister got polio when I was 11 and she was 9. We marched for the March of Dimes. And I remember, we went house to house and collected dimes. And I remember my mother, I wanted some ice cream. I always loved ice cream, an ice creamaholic. And I had a dime. And I said, Mom, I'm going to the corner grocery store. My grandfather had given me a dime. It was very precious. And I'm going to get some ice cream. And my mother said, why don't you put that for the March of Dimes? I wanted that ice cream so badly, but my mother convinced me that the Marcia dimes would be a better thing for me to do. And I put that dime in. A few days later, Dr. Jonas Salk developed the polio vaccine. And my mother said to me, "You see, Florine, it was your dime that really turned it up and made sure that Dr. Salk developed this wonderful vaccine so none of us could ever have to be in a wheelchair like my sister was all of her life." So I think giving back is so important, whether you can give $1 a month, $1 a week, whether you go and volunteer for a couple hours every month or every week, giving back makes you feel better. Well, I got very, very happy. I lost the weight. I started Weight Watchers. I started having people come and work for me. Everybody that works for Weight Watchers has had a weight problem, sat in our classes, lost the weight, and then gone through training. And they're always retraining. So you always know that we know. We know what you are saying. But starting a business, it's hard. It was hard for me as a woman 40 years ago. There were no mentors. All my mentors were men. They wouldn't even give me a loan at the bank of $5,000 unless my husband signed it. I said, "No way. I'm a woman and I can do this on my own." And I convinced the parent company, "I can't pay you the money right now, but I will pay you eventually." And of course, that's what happened. I started Weight Watchers in Michigan. I did Weight Watchers in Ohio. I did Weight Watchers and I was president of Weight Watchers in Canada. And then I'd help other people buy franchises. And when they wanted to sell, they came to me and I would buy their franchises. So eventually I was the president of Weight Watchers in Boston, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island, and in Ohio, and Pennsylvania, and Michigan. And finally I took some of my children and went to Mexico. They told me I could have Weight Watchers of Mexico and started Weight Watchers in the country of Mexico. All of that came because I learned to have self-respect. I learned to like me, which is so very important. If I can tell you nothing else, I'll tell you two things. Wake up in the morning every single day. No matter if it's raining or snowing or if it's whatever the weather is, if it's beautiful and sunny, look in that mirror and look in your eyes. And don't look at your hair or your zits or whatever, or your beard if you're a man that looks shaggy. Look in your eyes and say, "You know what? Today's going to be a good day and I'm going to be happy and I'm going to make others happy and I'm going to do things that are really worthwhile." Because you know something, you wake up every day, you have two choices. That's what I say to myself. I have two choices. I can be either happy or unhappy. And I want to tell you, my friends, I don't like unhappy. So I try to be happy. Not that you're happy all day long and every moment. Of course, there are times in the day when it doesn't go your way, or there are times that you wake up and, gosh, you feel out of sorts. You don't even know why. But your brain tells you what to think. Your brain tells you what to do. Your brain tells you what to eat. Remember, it's only you. You are the only person in the whole world that can control your life and tell you what to do, and you do it. You can't, it's not your mother, your father, your sister, your friend. It's not someone that said something that you didn't like, so I'm going to go eat something or I'm going to go do something. It's you. It's your reaction to what people say. It's your reaction to life. And I've learned a long time ago that my brain is the only thing that can tell me what to do. And I have to choose between right and wrong. And so do you. And if we all learn to love a little bit, I tell everybody that I know that I really love, that I love them. I try to tell them that all the time. I tell my children, I have 7 children. I try to talk to them at least every other day, all of them. And my message is, I love you. I'm so glad that you're part of my family, that everything is terrific, that you are great, and I love you so, so much. And I love And everybody I meet, I try to make feel better. And when they feel better, so do I. Like, I want to tell you about the men that pick up my garbage. I try to see when they're picking it up and go out there. And I always say to them, thank you so much for what you do for me. I so appreciate it. And you feel them just, their chests are going out. They feel better. The garbage people, the men that pick up garbage, they're very important to us. If they weren't working and garbage was all over the streets, what would happen? So when next time you see your garbage people, you let them know how lucky you are that they're working and how important they are. Every one of us, no matter what we do, is important. My mother used to say, if you can't have the thing you love, love the thing that you have. And if you have a job that you love, how lucky you are. And if you don't love it so much, find reasons to love it and love it as much as you possibly can most of the time. And if not, go on and do something else. I love life. I love Detroit. I love the library. I know that if I'm feeling out of sorts or things are bothering me, I can always go to you, the people at the library. I can always walk in. I just like to browse and look around and touch and feel and take out some books. I'm very grateful for you. And I want to tell you, it's an honor to be able to speak in front of you. I want to thank you, all of you, whether it's you or the people before you that have given me such joy in my life. Now, I have a few questions that people have asked me, so let me read them, some of your staff. One is from Katie. Katie says, the new year always brings resolutions, often to lose weight and get in shape. At the moment, it's cold and the sidewalks are covered in ice, making walking and running difficult, my normal physical activity. I haven't been to a gym since 2020 because of the pandemic. So what are some ways to get in shape this winter that does not involve traditional methods like a gym or classes, since we shouldn't be exercising indoors with groups of people? Okay, I exercise. I don't go out of the house. Me too. I'm in the house. So what do? First of all, I am lucky to have an upstairs and a downstairs. Whether you have a basement or an upstairs, at least 4 or 5 times, maybe 10 times a day, if I can remember. I walk up and down the stairs. I walk around my house. In the morning before I came to speak with you, I've already done floor exercises. I get on the floor and I do planks. I lift my legs and I stretch them. I do body bridges and lift my arms, and I lift my arms round and round, and I just get my body moving. And I'm lucky enough to have a machine. I have an elliptical machine. So I try to get on it 30 minutes every day. If you don't have a machine, there's plenty of things you can do. I hope that you have some weights. If you don't, try to get some weights, some 3 and 5 pound weights. I'm now up to 10. And every three times a week, I lift weights. I lift them. And then I lift them like this. And then I do sit-ups. And I do things that really, you can buy, by the way, you can buy little videos that you can put on your TV. And I have done a video with a friend named Leslie Sansome, and she does a walking tape. All you do is walk in place and move your legs back and forth and walk in place for a half hour. I want to tell you, you're going to be really perspiring because it really and truly works. I jump. I read someplace that if you jump 30 jumps a day, that it's going to be good for your body. A jump rope, wonderful. If you can do even 5 jumps and 10 and work it up. But there's always things that you can do. I try to do something every single day, even if it's just walking up and down my stairs. And if you don't want to walk around your house, walk up and down the stairs 20 times. I'm telling you, it's going to make you feel better. And especially on the days that I'm out of sorts, that's when I really get up there and try to move my body, because the more I exercise, if I can do 30 minutes every day of something, it really makes me feel better. It takes away whatever depression or not feeling good that you possibly have. So try it, Katie. Okay, Ed, what is your opinion of the South Beach diet? Gosh, I haven't heard about that diet in years. I don't even remember what it was, but there's always a diet coming on, always one that comes out. There is cabbage soup diet, the Atkins diet, the Scarsdale diet. I mean, the keto diet now. There's diets all over the place. Diets don't work. You do the work. And when you make up your mind that you want to lose a little bit of weight, if that's what you want to do, and do it in small increments. Give yourself small goals, like you want to lose 5 pounds. And say it's going to take you a pound a week, it's going to take you 4 weeks to lose 5 pounds. But do it and try it. And eat everyday foods that you like, but eat them in smaller quantities. Try to stay away from sugar. I don't eat sugar at all, at all, at all, at all, at all, at all. I try as hard as I can. It was a big thing for me because I'm a big sugaraholic. I loved ice cream and I loved all the things that were not good for me. So once I started, it took me a while. It took me 3-4 weeks before all of a sudden I didn't want it anymore. And so whatever you have, eat regular amounts. If you are a big eater, cut it in half. I always have big salads. I make soups, and just live normally, because you can't live on a diet. You've got to change your habits and change your lifestyle. And I know it takes a long time to change a habit. Took me about 6 months where I stopped eating ice cream altogether. I don't eat ice cream anymore. I used to eat then diet ice cream, and then I stopped that too. I just don't eat it. I'd rather have a nice, wonderful orange or a pear, or I'd like to have a salad, or if I'm really hungry, I'll grill a chicken breast or eat. There's so much that I can eat that's going to make me look and feel the way I do. I hope that answers your question. Now, Dean Jella, your question is, I'm trying to lose about 25 or 30 pounds by August of 22. Let's see. February, March, April, May, June, July, August, 7 months. Okay. What would be the best technique to use? Now, every day I do exercise for 30 or 40 minutes a day. What other tips would you recommend? Also, I drink 5 to 6 bottles of water every day. Water is so important. Number one, it's good for your system. It's good to plump your face up and your hands and keep your body feeling good. I start out every single day when I get up in the morning. After I talk to the mirror, I get a bottle of water and I drink the whole thing. And the bottle that I have is like 2 glasses. So I'm drinking 2 glasses of water every day when I first get up. I think it not only is it good for your system, but it fills me up. I don't like to eat until after I've exercised. So I exercise first thing in the morning. But that's all right. It's not, you can exercise in the afternoon, in the mid-afternoon, or even like 4, 5, 6 o'clock. It's not important when you exercise. It's important that you do. And you can do it 15 minutes at a time if that's what you want to do. So let's say by August, it's 7 months, and you want to lose 30 pounds, 7, 14, you want to lose 10, no, you want to lose 5 pounds a month. 5 times 7 is 35, okay? So 5 pounds a month, that's terrific. Just take some of whatever you're eating today, take a little bit, try to take almost half of it off your plate. And I mean, put it away. If you're going out to eat with somebody or even yourself, always tell the waiter or waitress, I only want whatever is that you're bringing me, take half and put it in the doggy bag. I want to eat it for tomorrow. So you're eating less, which is very important. You've got to eat less of the bad things and more of the good things, more of the vegetables. I every night before I go to bed, I cut up a whole red pepper, and because I like to have something at night while I'm reading before I go to bed. So I eat my red pepper. Is it ice cream? No. Does it taste as good to me? Yes. How do I feel in the morning when I wake up? Wow, I feel terrific because I've spent another day doing things that make me feel good, my body feel good, and good for other people. Let me tell you, this is the only one you have, this body. It's the only heart. It works very hard for you every single day. So you have to take care of it by eating good and moving. Okay, Margarita. I used your program 50 years ago this year. I lost 40 pounds and went from 150 to 110. Since then, I've struggled with weight. At that time, I was able to retain my weight loss consistently for more than a decade. Then I started gaining and gaining. Right now, I have a substantial amount of weight to lose, and I see it as daunting and overwhelming. I try to encourage myself one way or the other, but I feel it's so hard. Back then, 50 years ago, dieting the Weight Watchers way was very difficult because the diet was strict. You're right, it was a terrible diet. Today, the diet is fabulous. The meeting host back then was a wonderful man. He had a very large group and everyone was very, very enthusiastic. I tried at another location, but the host was not as dedicated. Our meeting's going to be improved to provide participants with the inspiration that they require to maintain the regimen and achieve the goal. Thank you. Okay, Margarita. First of all, you lost the weight. And when you lose the weight, you have changed, hopefully, some of your eating habits. And you've got to, you have to continue on learning to change your eating habits. That's really important. And you've got to learn to say no. Yes, I love ice cream. Yes, I love candy. Yes, I love lots of bread. No, I don't want to do that. It's not good for my heart. It's not good for the way I look. It's not good for the way I feel. And psychologically, it's not good for me personally. I don't want to wake up in the morning and say, oh my God, Florine, why did you eat all that food? It's terrible. Look how bad you feel this morning. I don't want to feel bad. Remember, I have two choices, happy, unhappy. I want to be happy, so I'll do everything to make myself happy. Yes, our Weight Watchers program now is a points program, personal points. You get so many points a day to eat. And when you're through with that, you have all these free foods, not free, they're not free to buy them, but foods that have 0 points, such as fruits and vegetables and chicken breast, and I can go on and on and on. And there's a whole list of them. So Weight Watchers has really changed. They've grown with the times about how people want to live. We want to live and be happy every day, and we don't want to be on a diet. And Weight Watchers is not a diet. It's a lifestyle change. And that's what's happened to me. And I know you can do it. And if you go to a Weight Watchers class and you find someone that you're not having a good rapport with, then go to another one. There's a zillion classes around here. So go to another one until you find the one. But it's not that person that you're looking for. It's how you feel. When you've made that commitment, any one of our leaders, any one of our coaches will work for you because I know how good they are. And I know every one of them have lost their weight and kept it off with Weight Watchers. So Margarita, try. I know you can do it. I know you can do it. If I can do it, anybody can do it. Okay, Anonymous. What is your take on intermittent fasting as a weight control option? And how effective is portion control when one is dieting? I don't like to be bad on myself, so I don't fast. I like to eat. Food is important to me. I've lost all this weight and kept it off by eating, not by fasting. So I don't particularly believe in fasting. I think it's something you have to ask your doctor. Portion control, it's very important, especially on the foods that they're not, the red letter foods. Portion control with salads are fine. I don't eat a lot of fruit. I try to stick to berries because some of the fruit is high in sugar. I start portion control if I'm hungry. A chicken breast is always good for me. Soups. I make wonderful soups. I throw all the vegetables in it and water and tomatoes and cabbage, and I cook it for a long time. Sometimes I'll take chicken broth or vegetable broth and put it in. And if you're hungry, have that. Portion control is extremely important. I mean, don't go eat a steak this big. You know what? If you want a piece of steak, eat it small and wait 20, 30 minutes. And if you want more, then have another piece, another portion of it. I try to stay away from meats because I love fat, and meats are fat for me. I eat more chicken and I eat tons and tons of fish. I love fish. I eat every fish from salmon to swordfish to halibut to grouper to sole to branzino, whatever fish they have in the store, I like it. I grill it. I always put a little garlic powder on it and salt and pepper and olive oil, and I'm fine. Okay, I guess generally speaking, if I seriously start a healthier diet and exercise regime, what are realistic expectations in terms of the time for noticeable weight loss and feeling stronger? You start a program and you spend one day eating the way you should, you're going to feel 100% better tomorrow. And every day as it goes along, you're going to feel better and better and better. And as soon as you start losing some weight, and you know, every 9 pounds that you lose, you're lowering your blood pressure and you're changing almost your clothes. Your clothes are getting bigger. So, you know, it's important. And whether some people are listening to us now don't have weight to lose, but they want to better themselves. They want a better job. They want to do better in what they're working. They want to be nicer to people. They want to get over their anger. You can do all of that. Remember, your brain tells you what to do. You are the only person, and you have two choices every day, happy and unhappy. Thank you all for sharing with me today. You know what? My friend sitting next to me is telling me I should tell you that I have a podcast. It's called Today's Takeaway with Florine Mark. It's on weekly. I've interviewed such wonderful, wonderful people. And if you have a chance, subscribe and go to it. It's really a lot of fun. It's called Today's Takeaway with Florine Mark. And again, thank you for allowing me to speak for you today. You are fabulous. I love all of you. Take care, enjoy your jobs. Just be wonderful to yourself and wonderful to everybody else around you. Thank you.